Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from GED Math tutoring. Hope you guys are doing well this evening. I know I am late because I feel like I'm always going to be late. Kids are starting to come back in droves, and plus with other students, which is awesome. So what we're going to be working on tonight is we're going to be looking at graphing equations of a line. Yes, the one thing that everyone's like, I don't get this. Why? Okay, so instead of you screaming, we're actually going to go through it step by step. Hello, John. How are you? Okay, so as you guys are coming on in, you can tap. That'll be lovely. If you don't want to tap, that'll be awesome too. Hey, it is your choice. It's your groove, my babies. It is your groove. So, as we're kind of coming in here, we're going to do a little bit of reviewing of that point slope form, how to go from point slope to an equation of the line. After we do the equation of the line, we're going to go into graphing. So now we're not just looking at one number line, we're actually looking at two. That is basically what a XY plane is, a coordinate plane, a coordinate grid. That's basically what it is. It's just two number lines meeting at a common point, which that common point is called an origin. And what you do is you name your axes, aka your lines. So if you're going left to right, that's your x-axis. If you're going up and down, that is your y-axis. Now, for the x-axis, your positive numbers are always going to be on the right. Okay, you want to be right, you got to be positive, okay? So it continues all the way to positive infinity. If you're talking about going to the left from the origin, that is going all the way to negative infinity. So your negative numbers are to the left, positive numbers to the right. Now, when we're looking at from the y-axis, okay, here is my origin. If I'm going up, I'm going all the way up to positive infinity. If I'm starting at the origin and I'm going down, I'm going all the way down to negative infinity. So my numbers for the y's are positive when you're going up, and the y's, they're negative when you're going down. So there's going to be some. Just had this for homework. Awesome. So now we can double check to see if you got it. So if anything, couple things that we definitely need to address. Let me zoom up on in here. Maybe not that much. Okay. Got car horns going off. Sweet. Someone's trying to steal a car. Nice. So anyway, we have our slope. Remember, our slope is also called the rate of change. So it's usually the change of your y's over the change of your x's. Your rise deals with your y values, okay? And your run deals with your x values. So when we are graphing, what we're going to have to do, which is very similar to what we did a little bit yesterday, is to change from this point slope form and put it into a slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is that y equals mx plus b. We all have it memorized, but sometimes we still get it confused. Whereas our m, that's our slope. Okay, that is our slope. That is our rise over run, that natural fraction that it is. Then we have our b. Our b is basically your y-intercept. That's where you start. A lot of people, I think, when it comes to graphing, it's not the fact that they don't understand the rise over run. They just don't know where to start. So let me tell you, whatever your constant is, whatever the one that doesn't have an x or a y attached to it, that's going to be your starting point on the y-axis. That's why they call it a y-intercept, because it intercepts or cross the y-axis. It's really not this deep, people. It's really not this deep. Okay? So, hey, Big Al, how are you? So what we're going to do And I try to give you a couple of steps. Again, if you want to screenshot that bad boy, let's go. So when we're going from point slope to slope intercept form, one of the things we need to do is distribute our slope inside the parenthesis. Once we do the distributive property, then our goal is to isolate that y. So we're either going to be adding a number or subtracting a number on both sides so we can get y by itself. So after we do that, now we're going to go into the graphing piece. So when we're graphing, one, make sure your equation is in that slope-intercept form. Okay, once it is, like I said, you're going to start with your y-intercept. Once you plot that first point, in order for you to get to the next point, we need to use the slope. Okay, once we use our slope, once we get that, we plot our next point, and we can repeat this a couple of times until you actually see the line being formed by the points that you plotted. The minimum amount of points that you need is 2, okay? We all know the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So we need a minimum of 2, okay? Then, boom, draw the line. Really not this deep, okay? So let's take a look. Make sure I have all my pens at the ready, because we're going to get down and dirty. All right. So, first things first, I'm the realist. What we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to distribute our slope to everything inside of this parenthesis. Reason why I do that is because we need to change it from this point slope form to a slope-intercept form, meaning we want to solve for y. We want to get y by itself. You can't just subtract the 4 because you got a whole lot of business going on over here. So, with that being said, now we have our y plus 4 is equal to negative 3x minus 6. Yes, Big Al, good. All right. Oh, thanks, Danielle. How are you? All right. So now that we have that, we want to get y by itself. So that y is going to stay right where it is. That means this plus 4 needs to go in an opposite direction and go away to the other side of the equal sign. So what I mean by that is we're going to subtract 4 on both sides. Okay, reason why I'm going to subtract 4, because a positive 4 minus 4, that gives me 0. I don't need that 0 as a placeholder because I still have a y over here. So now I have my y equals negative 3x, and then we have negative 6 minus 4. They're both negative. So that means that negative sign is dropping down, and we're going to add those two together. Think about it. If you owe me $6, and for some sick and twisted reason, I gave you $4 more, that means you owe me $10. Okay, you're diving yourself more and more into the negative. There we go, Big Al. Thank you so much for the follows, everyone. Because if you know someone that's going to get their GED, their ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, or maybe they're just trying to go back into college algebra, this is the live for them. Okay, so if you want to share the live out, you can. All right. So now we're already in our y equals negative 3x minus 10. So we're in that slope-intercept form. Yay, us. All right. So before I go into the graphing, how are we feeling about what we just did? What questions do you have? Put it into the chat. That deals with the math. Okay. Oh, thanks, Reese. Thanks for the follow. Patience. All right, well, thanks. Okay. All right, don't be shy. Hey, Marvelli, how are you? Do not be shy. Do not be worried like, oh, I don't want to look stupid and all that stuff. Guess what? We're not in middle school anymore. We're not in high school anymore. Well, maybe some of you guys are, which should be in bed, but we'll talk about that later. But for the most part, this is the time to ask your questions. Okay? This is the time. Like, where did the 6 go? What happened to the 4? Why is what? All that stuff. Okay? Today I was a little late because I had to finish up with a client. So I tried to get here at 9:30. But my hours are going to be all kinds of Cuckaboo Johnson because a lot of students are coming back. I had 6 phone calls for tutoring sessions today. Yay me. Yay me. Because people got their first test back and they're all starting to call. Okay? All right. Awesome. We don't need an explanation. All right. Look at me, Jan. Thank you. Bump me up. All right. So now we have our slope-intercept form. Where we're going to start is right here at your y-intercept. Okay? So it's a -10. So here I am. Here's my x and my y's. Here's my origin. So now I'm going to put my first point right where that constant tells me, which is at -10. So I'm coming down here. There's -5. Coming down here. Here's -10. That's where my first point is going. Okay? Everyone's always like, I don't know where that's where you start. So now, you're going to your slope. My slope is a -3. Now, if you recall, slope is rise over run. It's naturally a fraction. So when you have it as a whole number, we have to put it over 1. Make that whole number into a fraction. So my slope, that means from this point, I'm going to have to go down 3. 1, 2, here's the third one down here. And over 1. And you're like, Audrey, it's kind of off the chart. It's going to be kind of hard for us to do it again. Good. Because I'm going to show you something in a moment. So what I did was I start at my y-intercept, which was the -10. And then I went to my slope. My slope was a -3, which we made into a fraction, which was over 1. So my rise, that -3, that means I'm going down 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the over 1, since it's a +1, I'm going to the right 1. Boom. That's where that marking is there. Now, yes, I could draw a line from here. Perfectly fine. But if I wanted to be a little more accurate, and I know I ran out a lot more space here, this is what I could do. Are you ready? Starting at my y-intercept. Instead of going down 3, I'm going to switch things up. I'm going to switch it around. Meanwhile, I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. But instead of going to the right 1, I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to go to the left 1 and make my point. Okay, going up 3, 1, 2, 3, going to the left 1 and make my point. Because that's the best thing about negative slopes. Negative slopes, either the numerator or the denominator is going to carry the negative. You get to pick. You got choices in life, my loves. Okay, you get to pick. Am I a private tutor? Yes, I am. I'm very good at what I do, and I'm very expensive. All right? So that's the one thing about negative slopes. You get to pick which one's going to carry the negative. Okay, you can't make both of them negative because, ready? What's a negative divided by a negative? Put it in the chat. What's a negative divided by a negative? Positive. Good, Jan. Good, Diggs. Big Al. Good. Danielle. Good. Did I get 6 from? Whoa. Okay. Lots of positives. Yes. Princess. Hey, Princess. Welcome up. Andrew. Yes. Sharon. Yes. Jan. Yes. Okay. Marvelli. Yes. Dana. Yes. Me. Yes. Christine. Yes. Elena. Helen. Did you get 6 from multiplying -3 and -2? Yes, that's where I got the -6 from. By multiplying -3 times +2. Gave us a -6. Okay, good question, Bennett. Thank you. Okay. I do pre-calculus. Yes, I do. Not the AP pre-calculus. That's where I draw the line. I do pre-calculus. Yes, I do. Not the AP pre-calculus. That's where I draw the line. I love when people want to call me. Like, no. Yes, you're not low-key smart. You are smart, Andrew. Knock it off. All right, so once you get those points and you can kind of see the line, then you can get your handy-dandy ruler. I know, that pushed it a little bit. And then you can just draw your line. Now, when you draw a line, make it nice and long. Don't just draw from one point to another point. That's not a line. That's a segment. Okay, so we have to draw nice and long lines. Okay. College pre-calc, framing. All right, definitely message me. Okay, definitely doing that. All right, so let's try another one. Starting from beginning to end. What did I do? Oh, here. So we got y minus 1 equals 3 times x plus 6. I'm going to wait this time to do the graph so I don't waste so much space. Gotta know what my y-intercept is before I can draw my graph. But no, I just want to overachieve. All right, so we have it in point slope. Y minus 1 is equal to 3 times x plus 6. Tell me what my equation of the line is. Give it a try. And you can just go ahead and put the numbers in. Okay. Big Al saying 3x. What operation should go in between, Big Al, for the 3x and the 18? There you go, Jan. Plus, hey, Lisa. Shaylin, good. Never mind, okay. Vivian, so 3x plus 18. Glow, 3x plus 18. Big Al, 3x plus 18. What are we doing? We're going from point slope to an equation of a line, and we're going to graph. So we got a couple things. I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Danielle saying 3x plus 18. I'm saying plus 1. Okay, you have to move over the 1. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So you get with your 19. Okay, there you go. All right, my belly, good. All right, so we got a 2. All right, so let's take a gander. So distributing our 3 to everything. So we have our 3x plus 18 is what everyone wrote. Good job. So now we're bringing down our equals and our y minus 1. So just what Ludi says, we have y minus 1. So our goal is to get our y by itself. So this is when we're going to add 1. Because -1 plus 1 will give us our 0, but we don't need that 0 because we still have the y on that side of the equal sign. So now when we bring everything else down, we have our 3x, and this is 18 plus 1, not to insult your intelligence, but we got plus 19. Yes, isolate the y, good. Plus the 1, nice. Plus 1, good. All right. Okay, so since this is our equation here, all right, so now we went from point slope to an equation of the line. So now we just need to do our graph. So here's my question. It's going to be very interesting for me to count by ones, okay, because we need that y-intercept. I want to see if I can put it down here. What should I count by for my y-axis? What could I count by? Okay, got to add in a 1. Okay, so Manny's saying count by 3s or 5s. Okay, Jen's saying we can count by 2s. Okay, Big Al's saying we can count by 5s. Okay, count by 5s. We got a lot with 3s. We got some 2s, so we got 2, 3s, and 5s. Yeah, we're not going to do 139. That's cray-cray. And there's 1 point. And we can't see it. All right. So 3s and 1s, we could go by 1s, but it'll be a bit daunting. Now, here's my thing. My slope is going to be positive. Okay? Since my slope is going to be positive, that means from left to right, it's going to be increasing. So I really shouldn't draw my line, my x-axis here, because, I'm not going to have that much room. So what I could do is bring it on down here, because we're not going to have any negative numbers right now. So I can bring it down here. All right. So if we count by 3s, we can definitely guesstimate where 19 will be. And especially it'll be easy for us to do because our slope is going to be 3s. So if I go like this, here's my 3, 6, 9, 12. Here's my 15, 18, 21, 24. Excuse me, I think I'm about to sneeze. 27. Here's my 30. Okay. Kind of gives us a really good. So 33. So the reason why I'm putting space, because of aesthetics, basically. 36. There's 39. Okay. And then for my x-axis, we can count by 1s. And I always make my 5s a little bit longer than the other ones because it's easier for me to find my 5 times tables, or my 5s a lot quicker. That's just a little thing that I do. All right. So, where do we start? Where do we start? Okay. Okay, the y-intercept. Yep. Where's the y-intercept? Okay, there. I figured that because I was like 29. All right, so Big L's telling me the 19. Okay, so Jan meant to say the 19. Shasham's saying 19. Okay, so Danielle, we got the 19. Okay, so if we do, this is where we're going to start. So here, if we count by threes, right? So we obviously it's going to be more than this. So this one will normally be 18. So 19 is going to be just underneath it. I like to make it nice and relatively large, even though it's really hugging where 18 is. Okay, so that's where you're going to go. All right, so use it for everything. So now, from here, I need to go up 3. So if this is 19, going up 3 is going to be what? Thank you, Jan. So we're going to go up to 22. Good. Because 19 plus 3, that'll give me my 22. So we're not going to say, oh, I'm going to put my point here and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. No, 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 no. Because we're counting by threes. Okay? So if you're not sure, this line represents the 18. This line represents the 21. If you want to count it that way, you got your 24. Here's your 27. Okay? So that means I need to get to 22. 22 is going to be just above 21. And now I have to go over 1. Okay? Because we went up the equivalent of 3 and we went over 1. Okay? Good, Vivian, is 22. We got it. 22. So now I'm at 22 for my y's. Okay, we went over 1. I need to go up 3 more. So 22 plus 3, not to insult your intelligence, what do we got? There you go, Sunshine. Excellent. Big Al. Excellent. Lisa. Excellent. Okay. OG. What's up, OG? Welcome back. 25. Good. Vivian. Good. Sharon. Good. Okay. Shylin. Good. Close. Remember, 22 plus 3. Okay. There we go. Plotting points. There we go. All right. All right. So now, here we go. So for 25, 25 is going to be just above 24. And we're going to go over 1. And we're going to plot this point. And remember, the minimum amount of points that we need is 2. We have 3. And I can kind of see the line. So that's when you know you can stop. If you got it between the 2 points, hey, knock yourselves out. That's it. You don't have to get too crazy. And then you just draw your lines through it. Okay? So most of the time when you do see something like this, GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, any of those standardized tests, and they're saying they might just give you the graph. First place I always look is the y-intercept. Okay, I noticed the y-intercept is just above 18, so I'm like, okay, I see something with 19. If there's nothing else that's around 19, then that's my answer. Click it, bubble it, move on. All All right. So sometimes we want to show our work with those type of assessments. Showing your work is when you're doing it in class. Yes, the teacher of record is going to be like, I want to see your work, because they could probably try to find some places where they can give you partial credit. But let me tell you, when it comes to these standardized assessments, there's no partial credit. They're just saying, all right, did you pick A, B, C, D? And sometimes they have an E. So just by looking at the y-intercept, then look at your answer choices. Then, if you see like 3 out of the 4 answers are all the same 19, okay, well then I guess that number is 19. But then look at the slope. From left to right, this graph is increasing. So now you're looking for a positive slope. So you're looking for the number that's in front of your x. If it's a positive number and it has that 19 and the other ones are, say, negatives, boom, that's your answer. Click it, bubble it, move on. Okay? So sometimes you don't have to toil all these problems, gotta memorize all these formulas. Just get associated with the formulas. Practice so you can feel comfortable with the formulas. Okay? All right. All right, good. So let's flip her up. Okay. Lost? Lost with what? Lost what? What'd you lose? What would you do, since it is computerized now, if the y-intercept is a fraction? Well, figure out what 20 divided by 3 is. Okay, once you figure out what 20 divided by 3 is, then you want to guesstimate. Again, you want to see where would 21/3 lie. Okay, where would 21/3 lie? And then you can go. All right. Okay. All right, let's try another one. So, okay, let's step it up a little bit. Let's see what we can do. Fractions is your weakness. That's okay. Fractions used to be my weakness as well. Until one teacher told me, just like, who says it? Jan says, it's basically division. Okay? Yes, I do lives every day. My hours may change, but I tried to do at least one live a day. Now, if for some chance that you can't stick around, and I know it's late, for some places it's late. So if you can't, you can go here, all right? You can go here, type in this, okay? I usually have all of my TikTok lives, all my TikTok replays, except for last night. For some reason, it didn't go through, but I'm going to try it again. All right, not a problem, okay? So if anything, if you want to go there, you can do these 5 things for me. That'll be lovely. I'm afraid to do it that way. Hold on. So I can get it all in there. Okay. But that's where I usually put all my lives. So if for any chance that you're just like, oh, this is great, but I don't want to miss anything else. Oh, does she do substitution? Audrey, do you know how to do system of equations? Substitution is killing me. There's a video there. Oh, Audrey, how did you do point slope in the very beginning? We did some videos there. Audrey, how do you graph? Like, how do you get the X and Y axis? How do you plot a point? There's a video there. It's like, you ask it, and if it's dealing with Algebra 1 up to Algebra 2, the video's there, okay? Because those foundational pieces are exactly there, okay? Okay. All right, not a problem. Because this is what I like to teach. And if this is too slow for you, there's plenty other tutors out there that's doing instructional stuff. So you can go there. I appreciate you stopping by, though. That's cool. All right, so let's take a gander. So now the first thing we want to do is not panic because we see a fraction. Because if you remember, this is supposed to represent our slope, and slopes are naturally fractions. Okay, so we can breathe. It's going to be all right. So the first thing we do is we distribute. Okay, so we're going to distribute that negative 5/2 to everything inside of the parentheses. Okay, so I would not convert to decimals. I wouldn't do it. The reason why I wouldn't do it, because it will be hard for me to do a slope that is like 0.67. Yeah, no. Okay? So we're going to have to face fractions. I know, but we're going to have to measure through it. Take it step by step. So negative 5/2 times x will give me negative 5/2 x. Now, a negative times a negative, that will give us a positive. Now, it's okay. Breathe, Angel. Breathe. All right. So now we have this negative 5/2. Well, we already took care of the negatives, the two negatives to give me positive. Now we have 5/2 times 3. Now remember, when we multiply a fraction with a whole number, we could make that whole number into a fraction by putting it over 1. It's not devaluing the 3, it's just helping us getting our multiplication. Because since we're multiplying, we normally would look to see if we can cross simplify, but we can't. So let's just multiply the numerator with the numerator. 5 times 3, that gives us 15. And then 2 times 1, not to insult the intelligence, is 2. Okay? Bring everything else down. Oh, don't say you hate math so much. You hate the experience that you had. That's what it is. You had a situation where you felt dumb. You had a situation that your teacher went too fast. You had a situation where you didn't have time for it to marinate. There was a situation that you were probably sick for like a week and your teacher decided to teach a lot of stuff and you never caught up. And no one actually had the time to sit and break it down to you. That's why. So that's why I have this platform. If I want to say this is the place for all the people that used to hate math and want to break things down, this is your new home. Welcome home. Okay? I got you. All right? So we're going to go through this step by step. And as I said before, for other people, hey, if this is too slow for you, hey, thank you so much for stopping in. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you have some fun and entertainment, but I'm not going to rush through. There's plenty other tutors out there that can rush through and skip through stuff and go all, that's fine. That might be your speed, okay? But thank you. Okay. All right. So now we want to get y by itself. So what we have to do, oops, where's my green? Here it is. We need to get rid of this plus 4. So I need to subtract 4 on both sides. But look what I'm about to do. I know I'm going to have a whole number of 4 over here, and I'm going to be subtracting it. But guess what? If I may, every time I have small pieces of paper, I can't do it. If I cover all this stuff up, I know that 4 has to be combined with this 5/2. And I'm going to have to change that whole number of 4 into a fraction. But it has to have a common denominator. So in order for this 4 to be combined over here, I need to change that whole number of 4 into a fraction. So what divided by 2 will give me 4? Think about it. What divided by 2 will give me 4? Good. Session 18. Yes, 8. Lelo, 8K. Okay, you're answering questions for someone. Awesome. Thank you for communicating within the group. Good. Mayhem. I love it. 8. Okay, so 3 divided by 2. That's not going to give me 4. Just breaking. Yes. Mo. Yes. K. Yes. Vivian. Yes. Lisa. Yes. Okay. Princess. Yes. Swirling. Yes. Unknown. Yes. Okay. Okay. So is this algebra? Yes. Yes, it is. All right. So we need 8 divided by 2. Okay. If you ever get stuck with trying to go from a whole number to a fraction, and you know what the denominator is supposed to be, just multiply the number that you're adding or subtracting to that denominator. Because 4 times 2 gives me 8. So now, covering this up, we have a common denominator. So that means my denominator is going to be a 2. Now we have 15 minus 8. Okay, so you keep the denominators. You do not have to do 2 minus 2 to give me 0. That is not what we're doing. Okay, that signage, the operation. Once we get a common denominator, we bring it in. Then we have our 15 minus 8, which gives me 7. Thank you. And it's going to be a positive. Okay, I have $15. I spent 8. I'm coming home with 7. Woohoo, positive. So now everything else, except for the 4s, are coming on down. So we have our y equals our negative 5/2 x, and it's going to equal 7/2. Now, this is when, Angel, this is to answer your question. Couldn't we just put it as a decimal and all that stuff? We want to keep our slope as a fraction. But the y-intercept, you can change that to a decimal because it'll be a lot easier for you to find out roughly where 7/2 will be. And so it's like 3/2, right? So 3.5. Okay, awesome. So I know there's going to be a comfort of decimals somewhere, but when you see your y-intercept, your constant, you can change that to a decimal. So Angel, what would it be as a decimal? Yep, yes you can, Drake. I will show you in a moment. Is that one question, Jan? Okay, 3.5, thank you. Where did the plus come from? Oh, when we multiplied a negative 5/2 times a negative 3, a negative times a negative gives me a positive. That's where the plus came from. Okay? So if we want to, we can say 3.5. Thank you, Jan, for doing that. Then we have our negative 5/2 x. Then we have our y equals. All right, so now, knowing that my y-intercept is going to be at 3.5, I have a slope going down 5 units and to the right 2 units. I don't have to have a huge graph, but a decent sized graph. So I don't have to start, I can actually count by ones if I want to. And remember, all we need is 2 points, but if you like 3, you can have 3. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so first point, starting at 3.5. You always start with the y-intercept. So 1, 2, 3.5 is right smack here. Okay, right in between the 3 and the 4. So now, from this point, this is the part that gets a lot of people. From this point, I need to use my slope. So they're saying that my rise is a negative 5. Now, going from here to this tick mark, from the point to this first tick mark here, that's not one full step. Okay, that's a half a step. Okay, you want to take a nice big step. So in between, so this is 1, in between that's 2, in between that's 3, in between that's 4, in between that's 5. Okay. So then going over 2, 1, 2. So this will be my second point. Okay. Make sure if we ever have a y-intercept when it's like a 0.5, okay, we have to make sure that we're taking full steps as we're going with our rise over run. Okay. So right now it's a negative slope. I chose to make my numerator negative. Both of them are not negative, just the numerator. All right. So if I want to do that pattern again, I can go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, which is right here. All right. And all I have to do is get a nice little ruler or some kind of straight edge and then draw my line. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Where did I get the 2.5? You mean the 3.5. So when you divide 7 divided by 2, that will give you your 3.5. Okay, cool. Okay. The last dot. So to get the last dot, all I did was walk down 5 complete steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over 1, 2. Okay. All right, no problem. All right. So when your homework comes around, and I know, like when you learn it in class, it's going to take some practice. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some practice. And I've heard that. People are like, I'm right there with you. I'm like, but are you? Like, I'm right there with you the whole time. And then all of a sudden, like when it's time for me to do it, you start second guessing. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if we can do this. So sometimes I would like to say, use your notes. Use your notes. The way that I say use your notes, like on a separate sheet of paper, copy down the same problem, see if you do the same thing, and then use your notes as an answer key to see, okay, what part am I missing? Because sometimes that helps. Okay. Yeah. This is like for algebra. Because some people take algebra in 9th grade. I have a student that's taking algebra in 7th grade, and I have another student taking algebra in 6th grade. So I can't go by grades. I know everybody's like, well, what grade of work is this? It's algebra. So, and particularly like algebra 1, but with the point slope, it makes it, yeah, you can be algebra, but with the point slope makes it algebra 1. Okay. Beginning parts of college algebra, but it's basically algebra 1. Do I teach grade 7? Yes, I do. Multiply both sides by -2 on the first step. I mean, you can, but then you're going to have to divide the 2 to get y by itself. So why do extra work? It feels like it's going to be a shortcut, but then you're still going to have to do the simplifying of the 2y. Okay, can you get a graph and then find the equation by looking at the graph? Okay. So for people that are just getting here, you kind of missed it, but there will be a replay. I'm going to show you in a few where you can go to get such a replay. All right. Tell me what my equation of the line is. And you can keep it in slope-intercept form. Okay. I do provide tutoring. Yes, I do. Just go ahead and send me a message. Well, yo-yo, sometimes it varies because now a lot of my students are starting to come back. But I am planning on having like mini pullouts. But I think I'm going to be cutting the amount of time I want it to do. So I was thinking about doing one tomorrow, but definitely doing one on Friday. And then I'm going to go live twice on Saturday and twice on Sunday. One for my usual free lives, but then another especially like $5 drop-in lives. And it's going to be helping GED and ASVAB because I didn't get too many people wanting help with college algebra. Okay. Yeah, I'm not doing any quadratic equations tonight. All right. Okay. Do I teach in private? Yes, I do. So what do you think? You need help with college algebra? Okay. Yep. So you can guys go ahead and message me, or there's a service button at the bottom of your screen. You can actually send me a direct message or an email. Okay, perfect. Okay, you want to teach him? Okay. Your final's coming. Ooh. Okay, Jan. Well, definitely reach out so we can look over your notes and get you comfortable. Like, guys, I do private tutoring and I'm willing to do small groups, but every time I put groups together, people just flake. And I'm like, okay, I did all this work for nothing. And you guys are like, oh, I need this. And I'm like, I'm right here. But I know everyone's schedule is all kinds of cuckoo Johnson. So that's why it's just like, dude, when? Okay. All right. Definitely reach out. All right. So Princess Carla is saying 4 and 1. Really, Blaze? Why? Okay. Oh, no problem. So let's take a look. So I'm not sure if you can see that there is a point right here on the y-axis, and there's another point right here in the grid. All right. So if we take a look, anytime anybody gives you a graph like this, they're going to count by ones. The only time they'll be counting by twos is when you actually see like a small 2 at the first hash mark or up here at the first hash mark. But if you don't see any 2s or 3s or anything, they're counting by ones. So taking a look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So my y-intercept is going to be at 4. So we're going to have my y-intercept. My b is at 0, 4. Is at 0, 4. Okay, so that's going to be my y-intercept. But when I go from one point to the next, it's almost like if you're from the city, you're walking city blocks. You are at, this is your house. This is where you're at. You need to get to your friend's house. In order for you to go from your house to your friend's house, you have to walk a certain way. You can't walk through people's homes. That's how you get hurt. So you want to go down 1 block and then over to the right 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. So what we just found is our slope. Our rise in this case went down 1. So that will be our -1. Okay, so our rise is going to be that -1. Then we ran over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So your slope is going to be a negative 1/4, which kind of makes sense. Because look at the line. From left to right, it's going down. Okay? From left to right, it's going down. So now, let's take it a slight step further. Let me shrink it down because we got our information now. Now we don't have to like darn near go blind just to put this together. So now we have our slope. We have our y-intercept. Now we just have to make our equation. So if you recall, our y equals mx plus b. The m is your slope. And we said our slope is negative 1/4. Our b is our y-intercept. And our y-intercept is going to be at 4. Positive 4. This is your equation of this line. Okay? Anytime, let me raise it up so you can get that. So anytime you want to find the equation of a line, you should be thinking y equals mx plus b. But what we were doing today, we started with point slope because that's where we ended last time. And then we did the conversion from point slope to slope-intercept form. And then from there, we went to graphing. But right now, we did the reverse. I gave you the graph, and you're pulling this information to write its equation. Just had to switch it? Okay. All right. Okay. M is slope, yes. X and Y are the coordinates of points. And B is your y-intercept. B is where your line is going to intersect the y-axis. Hence the name y-intercept. You forgot the negative sign? Okay, that's important. All right. Just couldn't plug it in. Okay. All right. So let's try another one. Okay, what do you need with the x-intercept? What do you need with the x-intercept? Or you just want to see where's the x-intercept? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what it is, Blaze. I love it. You want to see how to find it? It's basically where is a point on the x-axis. If the y-intercept is a point where it crosses the y-axis, the x-intercept is going to be a point where it crosses the x-axis. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Thank you, Kay. Yes. Because, guys, I'm taping things. I'm not looking at comments at the same time. But let's see what we got for... Okay. So you should be able to see my 2 points. What's my equation of this line? Okay, so that's one of your points, Princess. So what's our equation of the line? Not 1, 1. Because remember, negative numbers are on the left-hand side, positive numbers on the right, positive numbers up, negative numbers down. Hey, Kathy. Your nightmares are back to haunt you. It's okay. How's it going otherwise? Okay, so negative 1, 1. Yep, all you have to do is use commas instead of the slashes to name your points. And you are good to go. Okay, so another thing we definitely have to have, we definitely need to get our order pairs together. Okay, that is vital. Okay, when we do order pairs, remember it's your X, then your Y's. Think of the alphabet. Okay, so if you're naming points, you need to put it as X, then a Y, and we're putting them as parentheses. Okay. So, here's the question. Roughly, what is my y-intercept? What is my y-intercept? What will be my starting point? Because that's where we should be looking first. No, it's not negative 1, 1. No, it's not it's not 1, negative 1. Where is it crossing the y-axis? Not at 0. So we're talking about this line. Where is this line crossing the y-axis? Close. Not negative 1.5, but thank you, Isabel. 1.5. Person from another land, I love it. 1.5. Drake, we got 1.5. Good. So Danielle, 1.5. Kathy, 1.5. Yes, it's going to be positive. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Oh, that's right. Oh, Dana. Okay. All right. So, anytime you're trying to find the equation of the line, you always go to where this point, where this line is crossing the y-axis. So we're looking at this point right here. Okay? And that point is roughly between, because if you don't see any numbers, that means they're counting by ones. So this is going to be 1 and this is be 2. So it's in between 1 and 2. So if that's the case, our y-intercept is going to be 1.5. Okay, so that's our y-intercept, aka our b. And that y equals mx plus b. Now, what's my slope? What's my slope? What's my rise over run? You found me. Was I lost? Probably was. Okay, good. No problem. All right. Oh. I'm so sorry. Nope, so here. You fixed it now? All right, cool. All right. So if we want to find it, let's use the 2 points that they gave us. So if I'm starting, say, at this point, I can go up 1, 2, 3, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I start at this point here, the point that they gave us, and I just count up 1, 2, 3 full steps, and then I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my rise is a positive 3 because I'm going up 3. And my run is a positive 6 because I ran to the right. But 3, 6, that can be reduced. Okay, 3, 6. Oh, hey, I messaged you. I have never gotten a response back. Okay, not 1/3. We're thinking, there we go, Michelle. Big Al. Yes, Raul. There you go. Marvali. Can't speak today. Danielle, good. All right. My queen, hey. Angel, good. Sharon, good. Okay? Because they both have a 3 in common. So 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. And 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. So now we have the information that we need. We have our y-intercept. We have our slope. So we are going to have our y equals mx plus b. Okay, that's the format of the equation line. So now we're going to have our y is equal to 1/2 x plus, and it's a positive 1.5. If you want to change that 1.5 to like 3/2, you can, but it's not necessary. Okay, unless the answer choice is defined so. Yes, Jacob. Most of the stuff that I do, a great majority of stuff, is going to be on GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, TEAS test, any like entry level for praxis, just the general stuff. That's basically what I hit on. Yep. And it does. It takes time. Okay. Okay. Why am I multiplying both sides by 1/2? Just curious, my queen. Hey, even Jacob's curious. Okay. Yep. The problem is done. All I wanted to know is guessing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So once you got your y equals, and you have your information similar to this y equals mx plus b, Your m is your slope, that's 1/2. Your b is your 1.5. And that is going to be your equation line. Yep, so that's all you need. Hence, the name of it is slope-intercept form, because you need your slope and you need a y-intercept. That's it. Yep. So once you got a point, that's exactly what you can do, Drake. And then you'll see the line. Yeah, we don't have to solve. Okay. So the 3 and the 6 came from our movement from one point, which is this point here, to this point. Because finding slope is your rise, and we count up 1, 2, 3, and we count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my rise was up 3, and I ran in the positive direction 6. So that's where that 3/6 came from. Yeah, thank you, Jan. 1.5, that's where my y-intercept, that's where that line, that's where that line crossed at the y-axis. Because here's 1, here's 2, and between 1 and 2 is 1.5. All right, no problem. Okay. You see? Okay. Okay. So all we really need is 2 things. We need slope and we need a y-intercept. All right. Okay. All right. So as I said, if you ever just like, oh, I wish I totally forgot what that woman said on that live. Okay, go here. Okay, you got that. And then do these 5 things. Okay. And then you just basically go to that playlist that says TikTok replays. Okay, you'll see replays from February 2nd. Even the ugly replays, the ugly lives that was just like, ugh. I didn't think they were very good lives. But they're on there too because the information is useful. Okay, the information is useful. So if you like, and a lot of you guys are always wondering, like, oh, what does she teach? What does she tutor? Okay, here it is. Okay, we got 7th grade through adults. Okay, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, College Algebra, Trig, Geometry, Pre-Calculus, GED, ASVAB, IBEW for the electrician's apprenticeship, the early stages of praxis, the ACCUPLACER, and any nursing exams. Nursing exams are high school equivalency tests. I'm there for you. I can help you out. But at the same time, you got to want to have to invest the time and the energy to do it. Just because you get a tutor doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically going to pass. Nope. It's going to be up to you to apply what you're learning. Okay? Now, in addition to a couple other things that I have, okay, so we can do private tutoring. I can do small groups. So if all you guys in college algebra, if you want to do a small group, make sure you message me. Because I hear a lot from the ASVAB, I hear a lot from GED. I don't hear too much from college algebra. Now, if you want one-to-one, a lot of my one-to-ones is really starting to get up there, okay? But if you want to, and if you're not inside of a course and you really want to pass your GED, I created courses, okay? This is where you can find it. Okay, so GED, ACCUPLACER, and if you're taking the T's, you can do the foundations to algebra and also ASVAB. So all those contents or all those areas that you need. Okay. Now, do you do mathematical thinking? What is after that? Hey, Janice. What's MGF 1120? Because every state and every school names it differently. Because if it has to do with the equation of the line, if it has to do with system of equations, if it has to do with law of sines, law of cosines, I can do it. Okay. I can definitely do it. Okay. And here's the next thing. If you like the structure of my notebook, I created this for my students. So you have a place where you can find your formulas a lot quicker, get a place to put some of your steps. Sometimes your steps have to come out to the side. And then a place for you to graph. Graphing was a lot easier for me because we already have built-in graph paper or dot paper. I like the dot paper because it makes it easier for me to create my dots or to create my graphs. So I have like a whole bunch, but in addition to this, it's all the stuff that's in the back. So we have resource pages. So if you have trouble factoring, okay, don't know what the factors of certain numbers, to help you find the LCM and the GCF, okay, maybe even breaking down radicals. We have factor sheets from 1 to 200. We have the popular names and words that word problems are using and what operation is associated with. We have the squares, the square roots, the cube, and the cube roots, as well as the rules of integers, inequalities and interval notation, orders operation, power of exponents, anything linear or quadratic we got going on over here. We also talked about fraction operation, when you add, subtract, multiply, or divide fractions, as well as decimal operation. Then you got your place values. If you have to make those transition from percent to decimal, decimal to percent, all of that fun stuff. Then you have arithmetic and geometric sequencing. I actually had one of my students use this today. Then we have the measures essential tendencies, mean, median, and mode. This is the measure essential tendency. The measure of variation is range. Please know the difference, okay? Then we have distance, speed, and time. Looking at the different formulas that we have. Graphing linear inequalities, system of inequalities, system of equations. Someone was talking about substitution. Here's an example of the substitution method. Yes, it's a little tedious, but you will make it. You will live. Okay. Area and perimeter, Pythagorean theorem. Yeah, so you see there's so much. And also conversion. Okay. So everything that you can possibly think of. You need this book? Yes. So where you want to go to get this book? Because for the month of September, my books are all $10.29. Okay. So if you go here, this is the only place where you can get that special. Because if you go to the big A, you know, the A, the brown box with the smiley face on it. Okay. If you go there, that's all full price. Okay. You come here, you can order it, get your special. Yes, it'll take like a week for you to get it, but you will definitely get it. Okay. But save you up a little bit of cashola. So you can get your notebooks, and especially, not only do I have my notebooks, this one is for pre-algebra and algebra 1, but I also have the same version but for lefties. So if you're left-handed and you would love to get a left-handed math notebook with the same resources that was in the other book, I got you. All right. So if anything, but if you're just like, hey, Audrey, I just want your notes because I like your notes. Well, I have Audrey's notes. Now with Audrey's notes, you basically have like a copy, a scanned copy of all my notes. Notice it is still in color. Okay, so you get all the copies of it. But the other part is I have a QR code that is associated with each of the sections. Okay, notice the QR code here, QR code here, QR code here. Now, when you scan the QR code, it takes you directly to the live that's associated with it. So for this particular one, this takes me to add, subtract, multiply, divide decimals. And this was back in April. So then you can follow along with my notes. So it's great for remediation. It's great for homeschool parents. It's great for maybe do some enrichment for your younger students. But this is not going to be in a sequence, okay? I usually jump all over the place for a reason, okay? Thank you. Oh, Janice. Yeah, I try to be smart. So it's like, yes, I have books 1 through 5. And I know a lot of people are like, well, which book should I get? And I'm like, well, you can go 3 is really good and 4 is really good if you want to do like a starter type thing. But yeah, there is no buts. So if you want it, and it's in color, so you can actually see the exact same stuff that I have, like the notes that I was putting inside my books. Right now, we are currently on book 6, and probably book 6 might be done in another week and a half, the way that we're going. Yeah, probably like another week, maybe a week and a half. Yeah, just about that. So this is what we do. So for this one is for pre-algebra to algebra 1. I do have one that's a darker shade of green. I'm waiting for that to come in. That's for algebra 2 and pre-calculus. So we do a little bit of sine, cosine, and tangent, a little bit of looking at the graphs of the sine waves. So we put everything there. So again, this is where you can go to get your books. If you want to, you can just DM me if you're thinking about any kind of private tutoring, or if you have questions. If you're thinking about, like, message me, DM me. If you're thinking about, I would love to do a place with college algebra, or I love to do like a 1-to-1. Get it all together. Okay, message me. Get me before I get stupid, crazy busy. Because I had 3 new clients from yesterday. I got 3 new clients last night. And knowing me, I work tirelessly. Like, if you're on the West Coast and you're like, I'm just coming in from school right now, I know you're not going to want to tutor. Do you not see me on TikTok right now talking to you guys? So what makes you think I'm not going to be up at 11:30 at night ready to tutor? Okay? If it's something that I know I can do it. Now, am I expecting an 8th grader to be up at that time? I'll be like, yo, what's going on? But we'll figure it out. Okay? So my tutoring sessions are $87. Like I said, I'm expensive, but I'm worth every penny. But if we do groups, it will be a group rate. So y'all figure it out. You know, if you message me and I see that there's a lot of people that really want to do college algebra, like if you want to do college algebra, not only just say, hey, Audrey, I want to do college algebra, I would be like, all right, what dates and what times are you available? Because that's the problem. I notice, especially people with T's, that, you know, they're currently nursing, so they're always on call. So it's always hard to have consistency with them. Well, okay. Yep. Because if we get enough, and I don't like to have 20 people in a session. I don't believe in that. I'd rather like split it up in like maybe 6, or at the absolute. When I mean absolute, will be 10 in a group. That'll be the absolute. And if there is 20 people that's interested in it, then I will split them up. I will do one particular hour at one time and another group at another time. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Janice. You are just giving, girls. Okay. It all depends on the people, Betty Joe Boop. Okay. 87 an hour. Yep, 87 an hour. Yeah, on my website, you're only going to see a couple. But if you go here, or if you click the link, it should take you. Don't click the digital one. There's one for digital, unless I got not too long ago. So go here. I know you're trying to let me shortcut it. But if you click on the link, it will show all of the books. Okay, it will show all the books in my bookstore. Yep. 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 You can follow me as well. Thank you. Yes, thanks for the taps and the loves, guys. I appreciate it. Because how you got here was through your FYP, and that was all because of all the taps and the love that people were showing, so it can enter into, whatever the algorithm is, and just to welcome you guys in. So, especially this time of year, a lot of people are either getting their first quiz or getting their first quiz back, or they're about to go into their second quiz. And they're noticing that the work is getting harder. Okay. Thank you, Blaze. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? So I really do want to do the pullouts, but a couple students kind of switched up on me, so I was like, I was supposed to do the pullouts today, but I think I want to do the pullouts possibly on the weekend, so it's not too disruptive during the week. I still want to give you guys free content, but I'm going to tell you the truth, sometimes it gets a bit rough. Because I still have to pay mortgage, I still have to pay utilities, electricity, all that. You guys know because you do the same thing. So that's why sometimes I feel like I have to lessen a lot of my TikTok lives. So what I would like to do is to do like those drop-in sessions where I can start off with maybe one or two questions that we work here together, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to venture. I'm going to give you where the drop-off zone is. And then for the drop-off zone, it's like $5, where I dive a little bit deeper. And each drop-in is going to be a specialty. So one drop-in might be GED, and it'll be whatever the factoring thing that we're working on. So if we were working on, say, slope for some reason, and if we wanted to dig a little bit deeper, I would go deeper into that session, which will be an additional hour. And then if it was the ASVAT, I would work a little bit more with the arithmetic reasoning, or more with fractions, or more with proportions and ratios, whatever I will start off with, and then I would dive deeper into that. All right. Okay. Let it pop up because I'm over here trying to pass. Okay. Which one should you buy? What's the pullout? You missed the whole life. It's okay. We still got this. You're not by yourself, because I know you're already registered with that one. So which should I buy, one or the second? The second edition. The second edition is more up to date. Yeah, I would definitely do the second edition. So, well, we're not done with this yet. As soon as we're done, I'll put it up there, and then we'll get it all together. It's like I said, it's probably going to be like another week. I wait until I finish the book. Yeah, so we got not a whole heck of a lot, especially the much writing that I do. So probably like a good, it's not that much. I think maybe like a good week. Maybe week and a half if I stretched it, but probably like a good week. Okay. Do I explain functions? Of course. Yep. Just go here, type in functions. Hey, Louise. You took your ASVAB and you got a 118? Look at you. Congrats. What branch did you take it for? Louise? Which branch did you take it for? Okay. Are you trying to reclass Army? Okay, gotcha. Nice. Well, congratulations. Pour a little love in there for Louise, guys, because trust me, it's not easy. It's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, and we're really, really proud of you. Okay? Do us proud when you get up there, because there's a lot of BS going on. Don't be a Snowden, though. Oh, you want to hear a funny fact? Are you ready? I taught a class with Snowden. I was his teacher for one semester. Funny. Are you already in? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Hilarious. Yep. Yeah, you're going to follow me? I'm not going to tell you anything. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was a SAT prep class. I had them for just that one semester. Yeah. Hilarious, right? Hilarious. So, all right. Any additional questions? I think I covered everything. Yeah, book 6 is not out yet because we're still on book 6. I think I already said that. Okay, what do I teach here? I do a lot of stuff to get people ready for the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, GED, foundational math, basically things that I do for my tutoring service. So, and I had one gentleman that wanted to get some tutoring for the ASVAB, and I literally had to culture him. I'm like, well, are you in shape? Are you ready? He's like, yeah, I'm going to wait until I get in shape. I'm like, did you talk to your recruiter? No, I haven't talked to a recruiter yet. So I had to basically train him as best as I can, because I don't know. Sometimes I'll get phone calls and it'll be like not dealing with math whatsoever. So these are the concepts that I basically touch on. I only do online. I know some people are asking for in-person. Even if we're in the same city, I can't do in-person because I have students all over the U.S. and now Puerto Rico. And yeah, I know Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., but still. But I mean, it's not time zone, but because of their schedule, I have to be like later. So I can't like say, oh, well, you're only like 2 minutes away from my house. Exactly. I don't have 2 minutes because I go back to back. Like sometimes I'll teach for 4 hours straight and then I'll take a 15-minute break and then there'll be another 2 to 3 hours. So yeah. But we're starting to fill up again, and I'm starting to get new clients, which I'm really happy about. Really, really happy about. Are you guys from Puerto Rico? Yes. So far, I've had really good experience. Really good experience with people. All right. Oh, so nice. All right. So, books, we got that covered here. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow I should be here at 9:30. Yeah, tomorrow I should be here at 9:30 p.m. I might come on during the day, just to see if anyone's available, if they want to do pull-outs or push-ins. With the pull-out and the push-in, someone did ask me that. I am so sorry. No, I haven't been to Puerto Rico. That's on my bucket list. Never thought that would be on my bucket list, but it is. What I do with these pull-outs and push-ins, I'm focusing right now on GED and ASVAB. So what I do is I give you a small sample of what is actually going to be taught. And then what I'm doing is I'm stopping the live and then I'm going live elsewhere. So, and it's like a $5 cost, and I go a little bit deeper and I ask all those questions and I show you more of the ASVAT or GED style questions, and you can ask questions so you don't have to keep typing your responses all the time, because I know that's a pain in the neck. All right, you do the same. Good job. So those are the couple things I'm going to be doing. So I'm thinking of like Wednesday, I might try that, but I'm definitely going to be doing those on Saturday and Sundays, as well as maybe doing like a PSAT. Just like how I did about 2 weeks ago. Seems like it was a week ago, but it might have been 2 weeks ago. Okay. All right. So if you have any questions, Janice, thank you. So if you have any questions, guys, you're interested in tutoring, you're interested in, having a college algebra, whatever we want to call it, study group or think tank or whatever you want to call it. Same with the ASVAT. If you're serious, I really want people that I want to pass this thing. I want to excel. I want to get higher up in my score. That's what we want to do. Okay? Definitely reach out. Don't reach out if you're wishy-washy. I don't have time, because it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of prep to get these things together. Okay. All right. If there's no other questions, I'm going to end the live. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Hopefully you learned a little bit and you feel a little bit more confident with the graphing. Okay. So anytime you see it in point slope, make sure you put it in slope-intercept form. And then where do you start? You always start on the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where you start on the graph. And then you use your slope to graph the next point. Okay? All right? That's all it is. That's all it is. All right. Well, have a lovely evening. Again, you know where to do. You can hit the service button if you want to email me, or you can just send me a DM, or maybe you make a response to any of my videos. All right? We'll figure out the way to get this done, because I really want you guys to jump off and get this done ASAP. Okay? All right. Have a lovely evening, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Take care. Am I going to ship it? It'll ship automatically. Yeah, it ships automatically. So I have nothing to do with the shipping. Yeah, not a problem, Big Al. Okay. All right. Not a problem. Okay, I'm about to go now. Take care.